You know, what's the craziest Nerf blaster that you can come up with? Heck, what's the most insane weapon that you can think of? I know of two that have stuck in my head throughout the years. The first one comes from a Flash game called Heli Attack 2 that I used to play in middle school on the school computers, and in that there was a shotgun rocket launcher, which is something I've always wanted. And I'm not talking about it shot it did shoot 3 rockets, but it could do it repeatedly. That is just, oh man, I was kind of hoping I could do that with the Judgment Day mod, and you know, that kind of panned out but didn't. The other is the Heavies minigun from Team Fortress 2. I don't know if you've ever realized this, but through my hundreds of hours of play, I sure have. Whenever you click the mouse button once, and you fire one bullet, multiple projectiles come out. Does that mean that the Heavy from Team Fortress 2 had a minigun shotgun? Well, that is definitely a concept worth exploring, and thank goodness that the ZURU Crusher is here, because I don't know if you realize this, but while it does technically have an air restrictor of some description right in front of the plunger tube, that's easily bypassed because it only hits the rim of the belt. And if you were to just remove the dart post out of this, I don't see why you couldn't shove multiple short darts, or God help us, quad darts or quarter darts or whatever you want to call them, inside this thing and turn this Springer minigun beast into an absolutely insane shotgun minigun monstrosity. It has to happen. And unfortunately, I don't really have the time to deal with this right now because I got stuff to review. So if you're watching this video, chances are a couple hours afterwards this will be up, and then of course you can also check Dr. Flux's channel for not only the build guide for what he's about to do to this thing, but also his review of the Saturn. Speaking of which, hey Flux! Catch!
From Fuzzy Walrus Industries, I'm Dr. Flux, and in today's video, we're gonna check out the Crusher. Although, I think it's missing something. Chains, that's right. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into this and see if, in fact, we can have a chain-powered shotgun. This Shotgun Tuesday, I've been given the task to make this thing a shotgun, and I think I did it. It is weird, it's a bit janky, but I did it. As you can quickly see, I am holding this thing upside down. I found that the best way to make this more of a shotgun aesthetic is to flip it and add a priming handle. Oh, I also have the trigger taped down, so it's essentially only slam fire. I did that due to the ergonomics. I was gonna rework this, and I wanna put a disclaimer out. I actually wanna use this blaster for another application, so I wanted to do what I consider a light mod. Light modding is when you do not change the shell or cut things up or add epoxy or anything like that. I did actually take out the dart post, so I don't really consider that light modding because these chains now no longer have dart posts, so they can never go back. But other than that, this thing is lightly modded. We are at 35 links here with 2 rounds in each, so that is a total of 70 darts. Now these are quarter darts, or just the dart size that's a little shorter than the half dart, and I did that so that I could easily fit both darts into the chain. Now this little pump area up here was just some PVC couplers, some various, so I have a T-fitting, I have some actual 1-inch in there, the coupler, and then the cap. I did have to trim the sides of the T-fitting so that I could fit them right onto the handle. And I just cut the piece and mix up some epoxy and just attach it all together. I think this worked really well, and it's actually pretty comfortable to pump this. And when I want to flip this over and run it as a minigun, which I'm looking to do some stuff with in the future, I can easily remove this pump or even keep it. As you can see here, it's actually not that bad. I kind of like it. This right here is a little bit more comfortable to hold than this. There's actually not a lot of room here to hold this thing in there. So having this little nubbin to hold onto is not really a bad idea. Like I said earlier, I ended up securing the trigger down, so I use zip ties on this one, just because when it's in its upside down configuration, so it gets a little tricky to finagle that switch. Now, if I were to take this a step further, I would actually have to integrate a stock here, and I think that, and then relocate the trigger, and I think that would be a very cool build. This is just at a first glance, how can I make this into a shotgun? And I think it did pretty good. So let's go ahead and take this outside to the range and see how effective this thing is. Let's check out the range and accuracy of the high capacity chain shotgun. I'm gonna try it this way. Oh my God, they just all fell out. Let's check out the range and accuracy with these. We'll be shooting quarter cut down elites, and there's 2 of them in each brass tube. We're gonna try just shooting 1 Gen 3 worker dart and see if I can even get this thing to shoot well at all with just a single dart. I'm gonna try full length Adventure Force waffles. Let's see how they perform. All right, now I took this out to the range and tested it before and noticed that the performance is pretty bad. So I figured, hey, why don't I throw some brass in this thing? I only had enough brass to do 5. And after brassing 5 of these, I then found out that when I prime this, my priming handle arm here actually hits the brass tube. So my cool idea of having it upside down just doesn't work anymore with the long brass tubes. But no matter, we still have this cool forward pump action up here. Which now we don't really have a reason to have this trigger zip tied up, so I'll probably just cut that off. This is all just kind of, I'm showing this process because this is what goes into modding. There's a lot of trial and error. You know, things don't normally work out the way you first envision them to work out. Now after taking this out and brassing it, I chronographed it and got decent numbers off the short darts. However, when I do 2 darts in this, I just don't get the performance I'm wanting out of this. Combined with the poor accuracy of this type of blaster aesthetic is a heavy, I'm gonna say this is not a good shotgun. I mean, obviously, this is a pretty funny, funky type of mod to do to see if this thing could be an effective shotgun. It is worth a try. Now, because this is a Springer, this gives a unique option for a shotgun. I noticed another issue I had was this barrel was actually too long. I feel like if I were to remove the barrel and minimize this, I think I would get much better performance, and I think it would actually be a decent shotgun, and actually, you know, make this more of a traditional pump with a stock. I think we could get there, but this is going to be a lot of work to make this into a shotgun. This is kind of a good start, just to kind of get people, you know, get people thinking about what you can do with this. I personally will probably not pursue any more modification on this in the regards of it becoming a shotgun. But I will be using this barrel in a different integration on my channel. Overall, I still am very impressed with this blaster. Whether or not the Crusher should be a shotgun, that's another story. But hey, it's 2-Shot Tuesday, and I give it my best. The answer is yes, it can shotgun, but not effectively. I give this blaster 1 shot out of 5. But other than that, I mean, this is a kind of a funny, weird mod. It's not a full integration, and maybe someday I would take this a step further. I'm looking to use this in a minigun build on my channel, so if you have not subscribed yet, come check out my channel, Dr. Flux. I've also done a review on this blaster. The Crusher is actually a lot of fun, and if you have not yet done so, check out Walcom's video on the Crusher, because it's a really cool blaster. Well, I'm Dr. Flux. I hope you all enjoyed this video, this 2-Shot Tuesday. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, happy nerfing.